channel. So in today's video, I have invited Rahul Sreedhar, who has secured All India rank 10 in GATE in Geomatics Engineering, which is recently introduced. I think this year is the first time GATE examination. So to start with today's video, I would ask Rahul Sreedhar to introduce himself, his background and his journey, mainly concerned to the GATE. So when did he start the GATE preparation, and what was the preparation strategy, and how did he secure the All India rank 10? So Rahul Sreedhar, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Satik, and thank you for inviting me. Now, when you were inviting me, I had been receiving a lot of queries from fellow aspirants. So they wanted to know how I prepared, so what all I did, and some of them checked my background and it aligned with them. So they were curious, like how to prepare along with your masters, and a lot of things were there. And you asked me to attend the conversation at the right time. So it was really the best time, I would say. And now coming to my background, I did my bachelor's in civil engineering from Kang College of Engineering, Kollam. And after that, I wanted to pursue some masters in a subject which is related to civil engineering, but not the core civil engineering domain. So geoinformatics, the syllabus really interested me, and it's very interesting actually. So I thought of pursuing it in geoinformatics, and I have joined Amrita Vishwavidyapitham University, Amrita campus. And currently, I am in the final year, fourth semester, and doing my project. So that is a brief background about myself. Now, talking about GATE examination, so like you have mentioned, this is the first time they have introduced the subject. Now, even though the course was available in many other universities beforehand, the domain was not that much explored, I would say, and opportunities were not that much, and it was like there wasn't a boom happening. But in recent years, if you have noticed, like the geospatial sector is seeing a tremendous growth. And this is also one of the reasons why I took geoinformatics. Like there is a huge potential coming up, and government also is now pushing the sector. Like they have eased the drone policies, and they have included the subject in GATE and also other competitive examination. Now that itself is a very big step. So when they introduced GATE, now this was the time when I was in my first year, and I had actually written GATE during my final year in BTech, that was in civil engineering, and I have cleared that time. But the rank was not that good. But this time I also wanted to give it. And here I was having the subject in which I was doing my master's. So when you're writing a competitive examination, it's always good to do it in a subject where you're doing your master's. So I felt I could do this. And also there was this curiosity, definitely. First time the exam is being conducted, so we wanted to see how it would be. And the only problem was there's a lot of uncertainties. That's the first time. We don't have the previous year questions or anything, so that was a little bit of a difficult phase. But so I thought of attending GATE out of that, and also in case I wanted to pursue my higher studies in PhD and all, GATE would be, like I have previously mentioned to Hatik, I would say GATE is a gateway. It opens you to a lot of opportunities. It's not just MTech, so you'll get a preference in PhD. It's not mandatory, but you'll get preference. In some institute, I've seen that they have asked for GATE score for JRF or for PhD. Some of them are asking. And even if you want to go outside India, like to your top university, let's say National University of Singapore, National Technological University, or TM Munich, all these institutes do accept the GATE score. It's not like if you have a good score, they'll accept you, but you have the opportunity of applying by the GATE score. So it opens a lot of opportunities, and I therefore attended.
So here I want to ask a question. When did you exactly start your preparation? How was during preparation? How was your timetable or like course structure? How did you plan for your GATE? So can you elaborate on this?
Sure. So first I would like to say something like, see, when you see the toppers video, what we try to say is we try to imitate what they have done. So for the fellow aspirants, what I will try to say is my background or my strategy. My background matches my strategy, but it doesn't match. It might not match some others. So if you have taken GATE, this geomatics has a specialty. It's an interdisciplinary type of GATE paper. So we have students from full background. We have from computer science, electronics, civil, agriculture. All of them are writing the paper. And this time, what I have noticed is a lot of aspirants who have written the paper are from either MTech. They have been doing they are MTech students, or they are research scholars, like PhD students, and only some of them are BTech students. So this is something I have noticed. Like when the results came, you can see the post in LinkedIn. Your people have contacted me. So from that, this is what I understood. So we have a very diverse set of students here. So that for that diverse set of students, what I will say is, when you hear what the topper is saying, try to see how much of that is aligning with your particular situation, and then decide what all you should incorporate into your studies. And now coming to my strategy. So like I said, I am doing my master's in geoinformatics engineering. Therefore, as part of my coursework itself, around like 60% I would say syllabus was already part of my syllabus, and I had like I would study. I had already gone through it once. So for me, it's only a matter of just having to revise it again, or just to go through the basics. And GATE is an examination where they test your more than your knowledge. They want to see how clear your concepts are, and now since the amount of students who are attending GATE has increased, they are focused more on multiple section questions and all. And there, you need to be clear in your basics to make sure that the answers you are attempting is correct. And for that, definitely, that we have to see in that perspective also. So my plan was, since I already had done a basic idea, basic coursework. So I had correctly to say, when I started my preparation, I applied GATE, and after that I saw after a few weeks I got the syllabus. Then then I thought of starting my preparation, but it didn't happen then. So it took some time. But what I was doing was I used to register for this IIRS videos, India Institute of Remote Sensing videos. Now I would say this is a gold mine of knowledge for geomatics community. Like, they are offering these courses free of charge, and you just need to register. Even if you don't register, you can view this via YouTube itself. So I have been following their videos. So even though I have not started preparation during the initial phases, I have been following their videos. So this has helped me to keep in touch with whatever I have already learned. Then the real preparation happened around 1 or 2 weeks before the examination. So this time I was doing my project, and I asked my advisor, so he was very friendly, and he gave me time for studying. I asked him, like, sir, could you give me like 1 week? So he just gave me time, and he told me to prepare well. So I utilized around 1.5 weeks properly. And the main issue was, we didn't have a previous year paper. So without a previous year paper, knowing which are the important parts is difficult. There was a model paper, but experience has taught me that depending on the model paper might be a trap. So I didn't go that way. My focus was primarily the syllabus. Okay. My strategy, therefore, was focusing on, first priority was on keeping the time. And I didn't have the feasibility of time. So therefore, time was the first priority. In the short amount of time, how to cover the maximum syllabus and how to make sure that it works. So that was what I was mentioning in the beginning. Like, it worked for me because I had already done my course. It will not work for someone else. So here, what I did is, I took each word in the syllabus. For each of the word in the syllabus, I had went through resources. So my main resources are, like I said, IIRS videos. Then it's YouTube and Google Excel. So for each word in syllabus, I took up the word, I'll search it on, and I'll extra information, what all I get, that I'll use to write down. And I went through each word in syllabus up to the last one, and that is how I prepared. And towards the end of, like, the last part, the day before exam, last 2 days, I came across a wonderful YouTube channel. I'll like to mention that here, Remote Sensing GIS Home, and it's by one person called Shantanu. And he has been releasing a lot of GATE geomatics related videos for some time. And I came across these videos, and I initially, like, the videos were long, so I felt it might take my time. But when I went through them, I found that he has been doing a really good job. Like, he also understood that there were not proper resources. Like, since it's the first time, resources were not there. Students were not sure which all reference books we should take. And so he did that part for them. He found out what all books they should refer. He referred them, and he started taking classes. And I used that for revision. I used to keep the videos at a very high speed, like 1.5 or 2, and I used to go through the topics which he has mentioned. So this is how I prepared, and luckily it worked for me this time. But as I've said, it might not for someone else. But most of them are already MTech students, so I think this strategy should be fine.
The first time you have appeared for the examination, I hope the resources which you are mentioning may be useful for the next batch also. But as it goes on for like few more years, then they will have some understanding what type of questions are coming from which topic, what percentage or what weightage each course carries under. So Can you brief out in short, like how was the paper exactly? Like geomatics engineering, the paper which you have appeared. So it may be useful for the upcoming students who are aiming for GATE 2023. Can you just brief out, like from this topic you felt this is the most important topic, and this topic carries good weightage of marks and all. Like if you remember some things, can you please explain in detail?
Yeah, sure. So GATE, like I said, I attended when I was in my final year. So GATE has progressed a lot since then. It was initially when I joined my BTech, the GATE exam was more of like an MCQ only type. Then they changed towards numerical answer type, and then in MSQs were introduced, and they were changing the pattern. As more number of aspirants are attending, their pattern itself is changing. So that is one of the things that aspirants should keep in mind. So they should prepare keeping such a thing in mind. And regarding this year's paper, what I felt is geomatics was easy to moderate. And if you see, the cutoff is around 40 marks. So 40 marks cutoff means the paper was a bit easy, and also the number of students who attended were less, since this is the first time. But next time I think it will be really large, because the amount of queries I was getting was like everyone wanted to give a full 1 year preparation for geomatics. So I think next time it will be a large number of students. But regarding this year's paper, it was easy to moderate, and the high cutoff is the best example that you could. The cutoff is actually, like I was saying, is an example where you will understand how the paper was. And 40 marks is a really high mark as far as GATE is concerned. Now, GATE is one exam where you don't need to score full marks. You just need to have a decent enough marks to get the top ranks, and also for high GATE scores. And 40 is a good mark as far as other subjects are concerned. But here it is just the cutoff. So we should also think like that. And paper, the important parts were I attended. So we had this option in geomatics, like we could select any of the part from section, the second part. We could take either section which is more of surveying related, like civil engineering related, or we could take the other part which is image processing related. So I took image processing because even though I'm a civil engineer, since I was saying like my coursework is related to this, so I definitely took image processing over surveying, which I felt was the best choice. And the important areas would be related to GPS, and in the top of the syllabus they mentioned mathematics, and that mathematics is different from the mathematics that students in other subjects are studying. They are studying these subjects which are in the BTech, like differential equations, integrations and all. But here for geomatics, the mathematics they are expecting is like some other subjects, and they want like surveying, least square errors, and some other subjects. So these kind of topics were very important. And this year's paper itself, a lot of questions came from them. And luckily enough, I went through them, and it really helped me. Then regarding GPS, GNSS, these kind of topics are there. So overall, it was a balanced paper in some aspects, but you have to focus on it. You cannot say that one area is important, because definitely it will change the next year. Like the model paper, what I felt in the model paper, it's important. It was not that much important in the original paper. So it will vary.
Then coming to the opportunities, as you mentioned, you have got GATE All India rank 10. So what opportunities you are expecting in coming years on the basis of this rank?
Okay, so usually after the GATE results are announced, PSUs will come for recruitment. Usually for civil and all other branches, it is happening. For geomatics, again, the uncertainty is there. Since it's the first year, we don't know whether a PSU would come. But government PSUs are there who are working in geoinformatics domain. Like we have the meteorology department, we have meteorology is not a PS. I would not call it a PSU, but still, DRDO is there, and the DRDO does recruit through GATE. They are recruiting through GATE for other branches, and they haven't given a notification that they will take the geoinformatics engineers. But I am a little bit optimistic. But I feel since the government is pushing the sector, if it is not in this year, either in next year, they might take students. So that is a very good opportunity for PSUs coming, and joining a PSU for a geoinformatics is the best option, I would say, because the domain is growing and you will be an expert by the time when there is a boom happening. And then other than that, what you are having is the MTech. You can get admissions in IITs, and like I was saying, in foreign universities also for masters, TU Munich, NTU, and National University of Singapore. So these three universities, and I remember, I think one more university in Germany is accepting. I'm not sure regarding the name. So that is the opportunities which are available mainly.
So what you are expecting for, like what you are aiming for, either PhD or PSUs?
So my priority is PhD. I want to do research and I love teaching a lot. So that is my final intention to be in the academic field. But like I was saying, I love the subject. So I want to do something applying the geomatics itself. So if a PhD is coming, I will also try my luck there. But mainly I'm focused towards research. So in the most probably I'll end up in a PhD. But it will have to see. We'll have to see.
One final thing I want to ask, if you want to give any suggestion for upcoming students 2023, maybe not related to geomatics itself, like in general. So when preparing for GATE examination, what suggestion I would suggest for?
Okay, sure. So regarding GATE, we tend to have negative marks. So these negative marks, one question, even if you make a mistake, even that small decimal mark counts for your rank. Like in my case, even in geomatics, you could see that the top ranks were the marks were nearby. Like the first mark is 80, then I believe that some other marks are in the top 10 are in 70 stage. Mine was 80, 68 point something. And then I saw All India rank 13, his marks was also near mine. And so it was a close, like the top marks were nearby. So every mark, every decimal counts in GATE examination. So you should make sure that the negative marks are less. Don't go about attending things blindly. So what I would like to share a strategy which I followed, and I think it might be useful for the students, because what I did is I went through the paper. When I got the paper, I just went through it in one attempt. First priority was to finish the aptitude section. Aptitude, I kept some time for it, because aptitude is one place in GATE where you can score maximum marks. So 100% I invested in aptitude. Then I started the section, other section. The other sections, what I did is I went through the questions, and whenever I felt that this question I can answer quickly, I just marked it. And after one round, then I came back, and then I started attending the numerical type questions and the MSQs. So if I was not certain that, okay, in MSQs, sometimes A is correct, C is correct, sometimes both of them are correct, sometimes all of the options are correct. So if you make a mistake in just one of the options, we might lose the chance, even though that we are knowing the answer. So that is the problem with MSQ. So knowing this, what I did was whenever I felt that okay, this could be the answer, in those cases I made a calculated guesses. So that is how MSQ should be attended. You cannot just leave it off, but you need to make sure that you attend them. If you just neglect it, you are losing it. Like if you count the negative marks and the correct amount of questions you are getting, doing some amount of calculated guesses will not be a problem unless you're just blindly marking things. So students should not blindly mark the answers. It will be a very big mistake for GATE examination, because mostly if you notice in exams like GATE, there will be one option which always tends to be the correct answer, but is not the correct answer. But we tend to mark that and we get it wrong. So don't do that. And regarding all the other subjects in GATE, I would say first prepare your syllabus. Syllabus is the most crucial part of any examination. Take syllabus, be sure that whatever word is given in the syllabus, you should be confident to write at least something about it. And this will help you. Like if you know the basics, GATE doesn't want you to go too deep into things. They will just want you to make sure that whatever you know, you should learn to implement it for the conceptual part. So that is what GATE exam always aims. And you have 3 hours. Usually competitive examination, you have time constraint. GATE, you don't have too much of a time constraint. You have 3 hours, and which is actually more than enough for any subject. We'll have a lot of computation. Geomatics, luckily we didn't have too much of numerical type questions. No, not numericals, I mean like computation questions where you need to do a lot of calculations. But for other subject, you have that kind of questions, but still you have time. So what you should do is first attempt the easiest questions, then go to the difficult ones. And you should have a strategy. Like you should attend questions. I didn't have that option, and I don't think anyone of us this year had. Like I saw some coaching institute offering them, but since it was never being conducted, even those questions we cannot rely on. So I never attended something like that. But I think if you, from next year, if it's possible, try attending test series. It will really help you a lot during the examination. Test series are really important. So syllabus, test series, and make notes. So for me, I didn't have the time for making notes, because if I had started making notes, I would have notes, but I would never have finished studying. But for others, so some of the students who have asked me about the notes. So make notes, definitely it will help you, and try to make your notes very crisp. Like towards the end of the examination, you should have something in your paper which you can quickly go through it. Luckily for me, Shantanu has made a video and I used that video and it helped me. But for next year students, they might not have such a option. So they will have to prepare the notes, and when you are preparing notes, make it proper. Like, think in the perspective of GATE. Like, it is an object examination. You don't have to learn one or two large essays or something. Just you have to know the concept. So it actually helps you refine what you need to study. And some of them asked me about reference textbook. So if you have, but definitely you can use the reference textbook. And if you have time, definitely you can use those textbooks. But rather than that, it's better if you use resources which people are actually providing, like IIRS videos. These are I often stress the importance of IIRS videos because those faculties, they'll compress the content and they'll deliver it to you. And also for me, I had my course and my faculties were really supportive, and my guide was also really helpful. So for me, all of these factors played, and for fellow aspirants, they should understand what they can do based on their current situation and utilize it.
So whatever the resources you have said, we will paste in the description so that the upcoming students maybe it will be useful for them. And apart from that, I think we have covered all the questions and all the topics. I hope this will be most informative and useful for the students who are aiming for GATE 2023 in geomatics stream mainly. So I hope we can end now, and thank you so much for attending the meet today, and I hope we'll be meeting.
Thank you, Atik. Sure, Atik, and thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.